นะไม่ใช่เปิ้ลยังอยู่แล้วไม่ได้เห็นกินข้าวเลยไอ้พุทธเป็นยังไงใจมันสงบไหม
ลองผ่อนอาหารดูลองผ่อนอาหารดูเลยค่ะแล้วก็ลองทำอะไรแล้วหัดวางมั่งดูว่าตัวเองทำอะไรลงไปแล้วก็หัดวางดูว่ามันจะเป็นยังไง
แต่จิตภาวนาดีขึ้นไหมเมื่อผ่อนอาหาร
ดีแต่ว่ามันก็ยังแต่งอยู่นะคะ
มันก็สู้ฟัดกันมีเวลาไม่ชี้ก็มีเวลาโยมธรรมดาก็ไม่มีเวลาต้องหาเงินกินข้าวก็ต้องหาเงินมีที่อาศัยหาเงินมีรถยนต์ก็ต้องหาเงินมีโทรศัพท์ต้องหาเงินทั้งหมดก็ใช้เงินชีวิตของเรามันง่ายนี่ผมชอบมาสามคนเหรอฮะนี่ก็มาใหม่เหรอมาเมื่อไหร่มาเมื่อเช้าแล้วใช้อยู่กี่วัน3 วันทำให้ใจสงบกันคิวกับมันกันอย่าคิดนะอย่าคุยหนักหนานะ2 คนก็จำชื่อไม่ได้น้องบัวเมื่อจิตสงบนะพิจารณาร่างกายเราคิดว่าของเราก็เป็นร่างกายร่างกายนี้เป็นเราก็เป็นร่างกายมันจิตก็เป็นจิตและร่างกายก็เป็นร่างกายนะแล้วเมื่อดูขันธ์ห้านะจิตก็ไม่อยู่ในขันธ์ห้าใช่ไหมมีแต่รูปเวทนาสัญญาสังขารวิญญาณแต่ไม่จิตใช่ไหมไม่จิตเปิ้ลจิตไม่อยู่ในขันธ์ห้าใช่ไหมขันธ์จิตอยู่ต่างหากแล้วจิตอยู่ไหนอาศัยร่างกายต้องพิจารณาอย่างไรจิตก็อาศัยร่างกายร่างกายของเรามันลำบากนะเที่ยวร้อนไปเที่ยวง่วงมันต้องสู้กับฟัดนะร่างกายก็เป็นร่างกายเลยจิตใจก็เป็นจิตใจเข้าใจไหมและอนาคตยังไม่มาทำไมต้องวาดภาพด้วยอนาคตทำไมต้องอยู่ในอดีตด้วยมันอดีตแก่ไม่ตกมันทำอะไรลงไปก็เป็นอย่างนั้นก็เป็นกรรมไม่ว่ากรรมดีหรือกรรมชั่วแก่ไม่ตกทำไมต้องอยู่ในอดีตนะและอนาคตยังไม่มาทำไมต้องอยู่ในอนาคตพรุ่งนี้จะทำนี่พรุ่งนี้จะทำโน่นปีนี้จะทำนี่หรือเดือนหน้าจะทำนั้นเดือนหน้ายังไม่มาของเรายังไม่รู้นะไม่มีชีวิตหรือเปล่าอาจารย์วันนี้ตอนเย็นก็ตายไปแล้วแล้วจะมีประโยชน์คิดเรื่องนี้นะในเมื่อคิดเรื่องอนาคตนะมันจะไม่อยู่ในปัจจุบันนะของเราไม่รู้ปัจจุบันเป็นยังไง มาให้รู้นะปัจจุบันนะมีสตินะอยู่กับลมหายใจเข้าลมหายใจออกเคยอยู่กับพุทโธพุทโธถึงใจมันสงบเมื่อใจมันสงบนะเมื่อมันมีความคิดขึ้นมามันมีความจำขึ้นมามันก็สบายไม่มีความกลัวไม่มีความหวงนะนี่ไม่สะดวกสบายนะแค่นี้เองนะทำให้ได้เข้าใจ You understand? No. What I'm going to do with you, huh? Then Alex, you understood? The important thing is first, not to be constantly in the future or in the past, just to be in the present moment, That's where we actually live. We don't live in the future. That is thoughts. That's imagination, When we live in the past, what is there? What can we do with the past? Even if we did very bad things, we cannot correct them anymore. So we just have to accept whatever we have done, That's what we will receive. Just like in German, die Suppe, die wir uns eingebrockt haben, die müssen wir auslöffeln. The meal that we cooked, we have to eat. I don't know what the English expression is, but something like that. We can only eat that what we have cooked. So whatever karma we have done, that's what we can eat. That's where we can rely on. And that's what is happening in this life. The karma. That we experience, no matter if it is good karma or bad karma, it's coming from previous lives. No? Ask a farmer. If he sows potato today, can he eat them tomorrow? How long does he have to wait? In Canada, probably even longer. And he has to wait. He probably, each farmer, prepares the food, for the next year, so that he has something to eat in the next year. And so do we do with our deeds, be it good deeds or bad deeds. We can receive them, most of them, not all of them, most of them we will receive in the next lives. Not necessarily in the next life, but it probably is the next life, or it can be even further down the road. And whatever we receive today is the karma from previous lives. So don't fight against it. Accept it. Welcome. Whatever I've done, I will receive. And that makes our life actually quite easy. We know, only the things happen to us that we have done unto others. That's why we have the saying, no matter in what language, in all the Western languages, don't do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you, for whatever happens to you right now is what you have done unto others. No? That's a logical conclusion, isn't it? Otherwise, the sentence doesn't make any sense. So karma is a very important aspect in the Buddhist practice, and we should accept it, or we should learn to accept it, even though it is not easy to accept. We always think this person did it unto me, that person did it unto me, or it's our government, or it's this or that, all the difficulties always come from other people. They never come from ourselves. But all the good things come from us. Just like the Catholics, yeah. I mean, whenever something bad happens to them, they run to the church and say, Lord, please take this burden away from me, yeah. When they win in the lottery, I don't see anybody running into the church, please, Lord, take this burden away from me, yeah. Because that is mine, yeah. Whatever is good is mine, whatever is bad is somebody else's, yeah. And that's not the right view, yeah. Actually, it's wrong view, yeah. So try to accept karma, and that makes life already quite easy. Yeah? Don't fight against it. If you fight against it, it will come back. Yeah? Whatever we don't accept, it will come back to us. And it will come back to us with plus the power, that we use to fight it. But if you accept it, and probably have to accept it quite a few times, and then slowly it goes away. But if we are Buddhist practitioner, we actually, look in our heart and see where this kind of karma is coming from, and then we remove, the root cause of this kind of karma. Yeah? I mean, when some sort of karma comes in, and we are quite good at practicing, we just need to look in our heart, and see what kind of kilesa, brings up this karma, what kind of characteristic brings up this karma, and then we let go, and then we try not to do this. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's easy said, and it's difficult to do. Yeah? I know all these things. Yeah, it's so easy to say. Yeah, just like samadhi. All what you have to do is stay on the Buddha or stay on the breath. That's all what you have to do. Yeah, very simple instruction. Yeah, can we do it? Most of the time not. Yeah? It is a training. Yeah? Samadhi is just like a training, just like we learn to walk. Yeah? Remember the time when you were born, when you learned to walk, when you learned to talk. Yeah? How long did it take you to learn it? Yeah? And how was it? Yeah? You got up, you fell over, you got up, fell over, you hit your head, you cried for a little bit. Sometimes, your nose was bloody or your feet were bloody. Did you give up? No. Why? You wanted to walk. And that is the same thing for meditation. If you want to meditate, the chitta goes out and then we bring it back. The chitta goes out and we bring it back until the chitta stays there. Yeah? And that's the same thing. Yeah? It is a training. Yeah? There's nothing that we have to know about it. Yeah? It's just practicing. Yeah? And the same thing for investigation. Yeah? Once our mind is calm and we can stay at one point, and observe one point, be it the Buddha or be it the breath, for 10 minutes without the mind going astray, then we can start with the investigation. Yeah? And what do we start the investigation with? Body. Because that is our big attachment. Yeah? We think we are the body. Yeah? The body is us. The moment the body is sick, everybody of you remembers when he was really sick. You already thought, you're going to die. Oh, I'm going to die. Oh, I'm going to die. Yeah? Yeah? Oh, I'm so sick. Huh? And then 3 days later, when you were healthy again, you didn't think about dying. No? I think everybody does. Yeah? Oh, we are dying. Oh, I'm so, yeah. I can't move, yeah. When you really get sick. Yeah? So what is it? The body is the body, yeah? When your car breaks down, you give it to the garage and get it fixed, and you just have to wait for a few days until you can use it again. And that's the same thing. When you get sick, you wait for a few days, until you can use the body again. Yeah? Only if it gives up, it doesn't work at all anymore when the breath goes out, yeah, then it's a fight. Then it's finished, yeah. Then you can't use this body anymore, and then we go and hunt down for a new body. Yeah? Just like passionate car drivers, when the car breaks down, they go and buy a new car. If they have the money, yeah. If they don't have the money, they go through hell. And that's what happens to us, yeah? I mean, if we don't keep the 5 precepts, we are going down, yeah? We don't have the fortune to come back as a human being. Yeah? If we keep the 5 precepts, we have the fortune, or we have our passport, to come back home to our country, yeah? You're out of your country, if somebody takes your passport away, yeah? Because of some misdeeds, you cannot return to your country, yeah? Until they give it back to you. And that's the same for us, yeah? If you go against the 5 precepts, our passport, or sometimes, maybe a better comparison is driver license, when you caught up drunk driving, yeah? Then they take it away for 6 months or 3 years or 4 years, yeah? And then they give it back to you, yeah? And so it is with us, we go against the 5 precepts, and then we will spend some time in the lower realms, or mostly in the hell realms, yeah? And then we come back again, and can become a human being, yeah? If we did a lot of good deeds, we can spend some holidays up in the heaven, yeah? But when our money is gone, yeah, just like in a holiday, we have to return back, yeah, to the working hell, to earn some more money. And then we go to heaven again, to spend the merit, that we have accumulated, and then we go back to the human realm, yeah. And it's a constant running around, yeah. Just like a hamster in a hamster wheel, yeah. Next time you see a hamster in a hamster wheel, look at it, yeah. Running, not going anywhere. But this hamster thinks, he's doing a lot of work, exercising, yeah? Yeah? And he thinks he gets somewhere. Just like we think we get somewhere. But all what we get is, so once in a while, we go up to heaven, then we come back as a human being, then we are in the ghost realms, or when we are hell realms, and then when we come back from the hell realms, we go first to the ghost realm before we come back as a human being. Or just like Lungta Mahabor, said about his previous life, he went up to this kind of heaven, and then he went down to that kind of hell, then he went up to the next kind of heaven, and then he went down to that kind of hell, yeah? Because each karma, yeah, that we do has a certain, if it is good karma, will lead us to a certain kind of heaven, and each bad karma will lead us to a certain kind of hell, yeah? We cannot, just get rid of all our sins, in one hell. No, there are different kinds of hell. If you steal, you go to this kind of hell. Yeah, if you lie, you go to that kind of hell. If you drink or take drugs, and drink alcohol, you go to that kind of hell. Yeah, you cannot all, get rid of it all. Yeah? You go up, you go down, you go up and you go down. And that's what Lungta Mahabor said. Before he came back as a human being, he went a few times up to heaven, a few times down to hell, before he came back as a human being. Yeah? And that's already good. Yeah? Most of the people don't even come up to heaven. Yeah? They just be born as a human being, just like the Lord Buddha said, yeah? Just to go back to hell. Yeah? Why are there so many people here? Because they all have a hell break, yeah? Just like a prison break, yeah? They have some holidays on earth, before they go back to hell. And these are not nice numbers that the Lord Buddha gave out, yeah? He said 70% of the beings have no chance. Have no chance at all. They have no interest in religion, they have no interest in Buddhism. They all, all what they know is, they come back, for a short time as human beings, and then make enough bad karma to go for a long time to hell. Yeah? Only the ones, they're called padaparama, yeah? They're unusable, yeah? The other ones, the other 30%, are the neyas. They swing forth and back. Today I keep my precepts, so I get some merit to come back as a human being. Tomorrow, I do some bad deeds, then I swing back, and then I swing forth, swing back, swing forth, yeah. And that's us, yeah. Now only 1% are the ones what is it? Vichakatanyu. Oh, yeah. The ones who, just see the path and then just go, yeah. Just like the Lord Buddha said, when there are cows in a big stall, when somebody opens a gate, some of the cows already wait, until the gate is open and just shoot up. Yeah. But that is very, very few. Yeah. At the time of the Lord Buddha, there were quite a few, yeah. But sorry, we are not at the time of the Lord Buddha who could help us. He just looked at us, and saw our karma and said, you do this, and then. Yeah. No, we are at a time where it is rather difficult. Yeah? And it's also difficult because there's too much comfort. Yeah? I mean, when you think about, Thailand, when did all these arahants come up, to rise, yeah? Sprung up, yeah? At a time where it was really difficult, yeah? Where it was difficult to get food, where it was difficult to get cloth, yeah? And so on and so on. Yeah? Where they had to live in the forest together with the tigers and all sorts of animals, yeah? In constant fear, and battling this, yeah? That's a time where really, where one can really make some progress. Yeah? And when you read the Patipada, I mean, how did the monks train themselves at that time of Ajahn Martin? Yeah, Ajahn Martin was something like, he was only half a Buddha, but he trained a lot of monks, yeah, and a lot of them became arahants. Yeah? But some, set themselves, in the path of a tiger, yeah, to overcome fear. Yeah? Other people, because they get tired and fall over, doing their practice, they set themselves on a cliff, yeah, on the edge of a cliff, yeah. So if they nod off, they will fall down and die, yeah. Of course, they won't die because the fear will keep them awake, yeah. It is a way, how to fight, tiredness, yeah. We're so tired, let's go to bed, yeah. Yeah. Our life is too comfortable. There's nothing to fight anymore. Yeah? We have enough food to eat. Yeah? We have enough water to drink. Yeah? All these drinks, that are in the afternoon. So I mean, what did Lungta Mahabodh say about this? Yeah, when he looked at his monastery. I mean, 20 years later, after he founded it. Yeah, in the morning, there's so much food, my monks, I eat all this food, it is like, it is like a sailboat, I mean, it is so heavily loaded that it doesn't even get out of the harbor, yeah. You don't have this energy, yeah, then to fight again. And the understanding, the investigation of the body that we do, when we get calm, there's one thing that you should always remember. Yeah? The path, the fourth noble truth, is sila, samadhi, panna. Yeah? So sila is the morality, keeping the 5 precepts. Samadhi is the development of concentration and sati. Yeah? This awareness that knows of the object that we are concentrating on. That is very important. The awareness that knows of the object we are concentrating on and knows every movement of this object. Yeah? And then panya. Yeah? And when we do samadhi and we don't investigate. Yeah? And when we investigate, we do investigation and we don't do samadhi. Yeah? It is very easy sometimes, in samadhi, I mean, great idea comes up, or we suddenly see something, the body floating in front of us. Then we go back to the Buddha, or go back to the breath. When we do samadhi, we are not interested in anything else than doing samadhi. We don't investigate. And when we investigate, we don't want to mix that up. When we investigate, we do nothing else than investigation. Yeah? Because sometimes it also happens, when we start to investigate the body, we suddenly get so calm, and then we automatically fall into this calmness, and stop our investigation. So we mix these two things up, and there's nothing good coming out of it. We should do the things properly. The only exception for samadhi is when we investigate pain, when we sit, for instance, for 3, 4, 5 hours, and then the pain comes, and we investigate pain. What is pain? That's the only exception to the rule. Otherwise, we should not mix it up. Samadhi, samadhi, and panya is panya. And the investigation of the body takes, takes one of the object, you can take the whole body, you can take one of the parts of the body, and then you focus on it until you see it. Until you see it with your inner eyes. You can have some help, with looking at some super pictures, or medical books, to have an idea, and then take this image, and then keep it in the mind. It is a training, it is a long training, it takes time. Not for everybody, if people have done it in their previous life, it comes back instantly. But for most of us, it will be hard work. It might take months, it might take years, until we get this image. But only when we get this image, then we can actually start the question. Just like when we investigate pain, we concentrate on the pain, we feel the pain, and then we can start asking the question, where is the pain? Is it in the skin? Is it in the bones? Is it in the flesh? Is it in the tendons? And that is the same thing with the object. If we take our lungs, then we take them. We use a knife, imaginary knife, and cut it up and look about the essence of the lungs, and see, or use it, and burn it up and see what is left over, or just let it dry out and see what is happening to it, And then we do that with other objects, And the more objects we do it, the more we see the nature of all these, all these organs or all these 32 parts of the body are the same. But there's something we have to see with our inner eyes. We have to see it. Or we can let them, can let them separate out into the 4 elements. That is fine. See, how they're made out of these 4 elements. Fluid, it's also made out of 4 elements. And even thoughts are made out of 4 elements. Consciousness, all these things, just like the Lord Buddha said, everything that exists in this universe is made out of 4 elements. There's no pure element, There's no thing that exists only of one element. It's all a mixture. Some of it, have lots of water element, other it has lots of air element, other of it, have lots of earth element. And some of it has lots of fire element. But you don't. You might. But we have to see it, And that is the problem, that's difficult, Because after we look, for instance, what happens during our investigation and take it, to be a lesson, We look at it 3 times, or we take the body out, look at all these body parts, in front of us, We do that 3 or 4 times, and then the mind tells us, yes, we understand, we are not the body. But that's wrong understanding. It hasn't clicked. The heart has not understood. So whenever you do some investigation and you get some sort of insight that comes in form of thoughts, what do? You say, no, I don't believe. Strange, huh? You negate it. Because that insight, might be there's an insight that lies on the bottom of it, but the kilesas use this insight, to make up a story. Now I'm a Sotapanna, and now I'm a Nanakama. No. You instantly have to say no. The experience itself, the insight itself, you cannot erase, because insight is insight, you cannot erase. But whatever is made out of this insight, you can erase. Yeah? But the insight does not go away. If it was really a deep insight, if it was just an assumption, you instantly see. This assumption, the moment you negate it, breaks down. Yeah? It starts to wobble, just like a card house. Yeah? You take out the cards, it starts to wobble and fall down. And then you see in the end, it was no insight. Yeah? It was just an assumption. Yeah? You just thought you saw something, and then together with the studies of your books or the studies of the suttas, you assumed something. Yeah? And this kind of assumption can lead us in the wrong way. Yeah? So you have to train yourself, whatever can be destroyed, destroy. Knowledge, knowingness cannot be destroyed. True insight cannot be destroyed. Even if you reach Sotapanna and said, no, I'm not a Sotapanna. The Sotapanna cannot be destroyed, but you cling on to it. Yeah? You cling on to this attainment, or you cling on to this insight. And that we need to destroy. Otherwise our insight doesn't get deep enough. This is something you have to remember when you really do vipassana, when you really do insight meditation, or the development of panya. Because panya is not knowing this, or knowing that, it is seeing and understanding, understanding that forms in the heart. Yeah? And it's very different from the understanding. If you see, normally in our world, if you see things, how it works, when we look at machinery or when we look at something, and we see how it works, we understand it after a few times, yeah. And the same thing will happen, when you do investigation of the body. Oh, yeah, I understand. No, you haven't understood a thing. The heart still longs for it. Investigation is, I say, rip the heart out, rip it open, and ask the heart, you understood? And you will be surprised. Instantly the answer comes no. Yeah? Even though you have understood it here. But when you ask the heart, have you understood? No. The first thing is no. Yeah? That means you have not understood. Yeah? Even though, you think you have understood. Yeah? Don't think, because thinking are thoughts. Or like in German, denke nicht gedacht zu haben, denn das Denken der Gedanken ist gedankenloses Denken. Yeah? Wonderful. Yeah. It goes on and goes on, but I don't remember. That is the important part. What is it in English? Don't think because don't think that you have thought, because thinking is thoughtless. What is it? You're better in English. I can't translate it. So that is something that you please remember that, when you do really investigation, these insights, the so-called insights that come up, instantly, better them, instantly destroy them. Whatever can be destroyed is not real. Yeah? It's just illusion, it's just imagination. Yeah? What is real will never go away. Yeah? If you had this deep insight, this insight will stay on and it will guide you. Yeah? But insights, that come through our so-called understanding of the mind, they will just go away, and then after 2 days you don't even remember. What was it? There was something, There was something important, wasn't it? Yeah? And gone. Because it was just a thought. It was just an assumption. It was just an illusion. Yeah? But things that really burned into the heart, never go away. Even after 40 years, they never go away. Yeah? You will remember it just as clear, as 40 years ago. Yeah? But everything that comes through memory, through understanding, will disappear after a while. Yeah? You can keep it up by constantly memorizing it, but it doesn't help you. Yeah? It's still an illusion, and you fall for these illusions, and that's where you really get misguided in your investigation. Yeah? A lot of people, already, also coming from the West, believe, they already understood, the body. Now they don't need to investigate the body anymore because they don't like the body. Investigation is not about not liking the body, it's understanding the nature of the body. Because likes and dislikes, greed and hate comes with the body. And as long as we have likes and dislikes, we are still attached to the body. Once we understood the true nature of the body, that is neither disgusting nor is it beautiful, then the investigation of body is finished. But before that, it's not. As long as you have preferences, I would love this, I prefer this over this, there still likes and dislikes. So you still haven't not finished the body investigation. But people believe it, especially, if you get older, we don't like this body. Of course it's very natural, because the body hurts here and body hurts there, it doesn't work anymore just like it used to be. Just wait a few years. And then you will experience yourself, you just suddenly walk down the stairs and, one of the knees don't work anymore and then you fall off, It never happened before, but one time it will happen, Or you try to stand up and then you fall over, And things like that happen, when the body gets old, it's just like when a car gets old, It's like a tough, Makes sounds, That's the nature of the body, and of course then we don't like the body. We don't like the body at two times, When it is born we don't like it, Because we have to train it for 15 years, and when it gets old we don't like it. We only like it from the age of 16 to the age of 45, That's where we like it, Because it is powerful, And we can do a lot of things with it, and then after that, I'm so tired, And before 15 years we have to train this body. Remember this? If not, please try to remember when you came out of the womb, what happened, Go through each stage, Just to get the disillusion about the body. Go through each stage, What did you do first, the food that came into your mouth came out just the same way. The body had to learn how to digest, And then it had to learn to walk, or to move first, And then it learned to walk, and then it learned to talk, and then we learned for 10 years to think. You couldn't think in the beginning. Think properly, 15 years, of our life, we programmed this body. And then we can use it for 30 years or 35 years, and then for 40 years we wait for the decay. We wait for the final enter. When the breath goes out. So when you think about it, 15 years training, 40 years waiting for death, and 30 years using it. Now I don't know the kummai. Is it worthwhile? When you think about this, then you think, am I crazy? Why put so much effort into it? Why train this body for 15 years? If I can use it for 30 years, and then have to wait, with decaying body until it dies, for 40 years, And everybody does it, Well, some people die young, They don't notice it. But most of us get old, And we notice it. It doesn't work like this anymore, This kind of reflection gives us a disillusion about the body, Because next life you have to do the same thing, But when we think about next life, we think only about the age of 20, We think what we want to do, when we are 20. We don't want to think about the time when we trained this body, do we? So, train your samadhi. If you can, go into Appana Samadhi where the whole world disappears. I mean, it's amazing. It's the first wonder of meditation. Everything disappears. And people just don't believe it. Yeah, I mean, there used to be 300 or 400 years. There are stories about people who were buried alive. Yeah, they were in the state of Appana Samadhi, and after 6 or 7 days they came back. Yeah. Some people came back after 3 days, and they were still, in the church, under the white cloth, yeah. And then they woke up, and then got up, and everybody was running out of the church because they thought it was a ghost, yeah. And for some, they have found, that there were marks, in the sarcophagus, yeah, in the coffin, yeah. They tried to get out, but they were already under the earth, so they had to die, really, yeah. People, a shock can happen, if people have a big shock, that can happen to go into Appana Samadhi where everything disappears, and when they look just like that. Nowadays with modern medicine we know, yeah, if it is medical death or if it's just, the other kind of death. I don't know the name for it. I used to know it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can happen, it can happen that people go in this rock, and then go just, cut off everything, yeah, and then 7 days, it's not coma, yeah? Because at coma the body is still alive, yeah. But there, the breath stops and the heartbeat stops, yeah. And then so people thought, oh, this person is dead, yeah. But it was not really dead, it wasn't brain dead, yeah. And then they come back to life. And that's the same thing for Appana Samadhi. Yeah? And there's an example. When Luang Dhamma Boa used to give after the meal, he gave some talks to his lay people. Yeah? And one person, he was just sitting and listening and listening and listening. Yeah? And then the talk was finished and this person was still sitting. Yeah? And then the other lay people tried to wake him up. Nobody there. It was just the body. Yeah, so Luang Dhamma said, okay, carry him back to his home. And then a few hours later, he came back alive, and what happened? Yeah. So that is the deep samadhi, yeah, where everything disappears. Yeah? And it is the first wonder of meditation. Yeah? There you see that everything, when you come back, you feel like in the World War. You feel like everybody shoots at you, yeah? Because all the senses suddenly come back, and it bombards you, and then this reaction towards the senses come back. Yeah, yeah. What is Fakundu? No, I thought you had a question.
Yeah, there is some people who have been. What to say when the bodies are put inside the earth or inside the cave.
Yeah.
And the body is dry, but they find that the needles and the hair is still growing.
Yeah.
That there is signs he's still alive, or there is signs that.
That's not necessarily. That's not necessarily. I mean, one knows, even if the chitta has gone outside of the body because the body doesn't come back to life, the hair still grows and the nails still grow. Yeah. Because the body it's a biological robot, so it still does its thing, until it completely breaks down. Can be that it is still alive. I don't know. I mean, that's something I don't know.
The body is dead, but there is some signs like I don't know. There is some case a few years ago, but I was reading in Luang Dhamma book also. He comments something like this by Luang Poman.
Yeah.
That you can get a very deep samadhi, like 100 years, maybe. No, long samadhi.
No.
And even your body already destroyed, maybe, but you don't know that you're in samadhi.
Oh, that can happen, yes.
So what happened when you realize you have no more body?
Well, you look for another body. If you haven't done the investigation of the body.
You're already dead?
Yes. But it is, You sit in a car and you do samadhi, yeah? And you're in samadhi, for 20 years, and then when you get out of samadhi, there's no more car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it has, it has disappeared, yeah?
Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah.
So at that moment, that person will die.
Yeah, that will realize, yeah? I mean, you remember that I sometimes bring the example, Appana Samadhi is somebody, goes for jogging, leaves his car, yeah? And then he goes for jogging, he doesn't know what is happening to his car. And when he comes back, he sees some gangsters, have broken up his car so he can't move it anymore. Then what did he do? He doesn't go back into this car, yeah? I mean, he just goes and says, okay, this body is useless, let's look for another body.
Yeah, that's what my question.
Yeah. Now, Appana Samadhi, I mean, it is very difficult because you really have to be concentrated. Yeah? I mean, any kind of conversation with other people, I mean, it's nearly impossible. Yeah? I mean, you really have to be on your own, yeah, for weeks or for months, to be able to reach that kind of samadhi. But it is really, when you come out, you really see a difference. Yeah? I mean, you're so focused, your concentration is like a laser beam. Whatever you put your concentration, you just see right through. Yeah? It's amazing. Yeah? It's just like you put your two fingers in an AC plug. Yeah, I mean, you're completely awake. Even if before you were completely tired, you put it in there. Yeah. So it can be really helpful, especially if you want to do some investigation. But it is not necessary. Upachara Samadhi, where thoughts and memories stop is enough. Yeah, you still can do your investigation. It will take longer. Yeah. When you remember, Luang Dhamma boy, yeah. I mean, he was sitting in samadhi for 5 years. He was stuck in samadhi, yeah? I mean, stuck in quotation marks, yeah? And then after 5 years, Luang Pu Man, didn't say anything. He said, how is your samadhi? Fine, okay, yeah? But one day after 5 years, he said, okay, now, yeah? You're not a pig on a chopping block, so let's go and do some work, yeah? And he was he was trying, nearly every day to go into Appana Samadhi. Yeah? And then he said, sometimes it took him an hour, sometimes it took him 11 hours, but every day, every night, he was sitting through the night, yeah? I mean, his skin burst, I mean, it was bloody all over, yeah? But he didn't care. Yeah? He really wanted to have the Samadhi, yeah? So he tried it. And then after that, I mean, the moment he put his mind to work, I mean, the body investigation was gone, in 8 months, yeah? He finished body investigation within 8 months, yeah? To the stage of anagami. And then it took him, what does he say, 2.5 years to cut down on delusion. Because delusion, yeah, I mean, that is, greed and hate is rooted in the body. So if we finish body investigation, greed and hate is gone. That means we advance to the stage of anagami. But then, you still have the higher fetters, And delusion is one of the big things. Yeah? And he says, delusion is caught up in these thoughts and memories. Yeah? They are so interwoven that it's so difficult, to tear them apart. Because you don't see in the beginning what is thought, what is memory. They are so interwoven. Yeah? So you have to tear them apart and to see how delusion is, really inside of these two things. Yeah? And then, that took him 2.5 years. Yeah? And he's powerful. He wasn't interested in anything else. Yeah? And then he came, after the death of his teacher. Yeah? I mean, he came to the stage where he had to battle, avijja, yeah? And he was pulled, by this avijja for 3 months, yeah? Oh, that's so amazing, I mean, avijja itself is so amazing, yeah? I mean, it gives you all the powers of all the world, yeah? And he said, if I could have just asked Luang Pu Man, how to deal with this, yeah? But Luang Pu Man was dead, yeah? So I had to fight for 3 months, until he could break it, yeah? So it's not easy. Okay, enough for today. เข้าใจบ้างไหมไม่เป็นไรฟังนายชัยฟังนายชัยสำคัญOkay, so du bleibst bis Mittwoch, bis Donnerstag, oder? Michael.